right back to give you those details. Like I said, let's cross over to the Flagstaff House now. We understand that the conversation between the President Ouattara and President Akufo-Addo was basically about Ghana's strength as a cocoa producer and, of course, what has come in as the oil producer as well. We have some background that we will provide you as well in terms of our economic background when it comes to how our oil production has been so far. Right now, we can listen to President Akufo-Addo.
And it is for us on our side in Ghana to complement it. And then look at this there's a bright future ahead of us if we can get all our various ducks in the correct row. The Ghanaian people continue to be very supportive of all initiatives that there are to improve our ties with your country. We realized that there was a delicate moment when it came to this dispute over our maritime border, but your statesmanship and your friendship and regard for the interests of our two countries made it possible for us to overcome that delicate moment and use it as a basis for forging even stronger relations between us. A lot of work has been done here of a technical nature, and it's important. But at the end of the day, the will, the desire, the will to translate the technical, the papers and all of that into concrete decisions that affect the lives of our people. For me, that is what is most important. And I think that at this juncture in our history, we have a historic opportunity to bring our two countries together. And by that, be at the nodal point of the whole ECOWAS adventure. You're francophones, soi-disant, we are anglophones, soi-disant, but essentially the same people. So I use the word soi-disant. So that we can be also a real model for the rest of the region and of the continent. But so I want very, very, very warmly to welcome you to Ghana and to say that it's a great honor that you're doing the Ghanaian people and myself by coming to spend these 2 days here with us. Thank you very much for coming.
Dire que pour ceux qui m'accompagnent, comme pour le gouvernement et le peuple ivoirien, c'est un très grand honneur que vous nous faites de nous recevoir dans cette belle ville d'Accra, et évidemment pleine de souvenirs et de réalisations. Et la réception que nous avons reçue ce matin, je crois, est la confirmation des liens historiques et culturels que nous avons entre les deux pays, les deux peuples. Et nous avons été fortement impressionnés de l'accueil que nous avons reçu, bien sûr à vos côtés, pendant la tournée dans la ville d'Accra. Je vous disais d'ailleurs dans la voiture qu'en général, les partis au pouvoir ne sont pas très populaires dans la capitale. Mais ça, nous avons vu une exception ici à Accra, compte tenu de la ferveur qui nous a donc été montrée pendant le tour que nous avons effectué pendant 1 heure de temps dans la ville d'Accra. Alors en tout cas, ma délégation et moi-même voudrions vous dire nous sommes très sensibles à cette hospitalité et à cette marque d'attention. À mon tour, je voudrais vous dire que ce qui est particulièrement heureux aujourd'hui avec ce que nous allons faire, c'est la vision que nous avons l'un et l'autre. Nous avons une vision d'avoir en perspective le développement de nos deux pays, dans l'intérêt bien sûr conjoint, mais aussi d'avoir une vision de politique économique qui soit conforme à nos réalités.
That's the Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara there. Earlier you heard, unfortunately I'm not able to translate that French, but in our subsequent bulletins we will. President Akufo-Addo did speak earlier, and what he said was that we need to get the foundations right, and that once we have that done, then there is a bright future indeed for both of the countries. He's also acknowledged the support of all Ghanaians and the fact that even though we had a very delicate moment, I'm talking about having to wait for the ITLOS ruling, it was a very delicate moment indeed, that the Ghanaians were very supportive, and that the friendship that we share between the two countries and the regard that we have for one another made peace possible, and made it possible for us to come through unscathed. He says that there's a lot of technical work that's been done already, and what they need to do right now is to translate every paperwork that has gone into this decision into concrete actions. He also says that we can be in Africa, of course, he's talking about Ghana, he's talking about Ivory Coast, can be a real model for the region and, of course, for the rest of the world. It is indeed a great honor for the president that President Alassane Ouattara is in this country and is going to spend some 2 days here as well. We'll see how that goes. We'll bring you some more updates as we go along. But let me take you through some details, as I mentioned that I will, and those details are about the foundations, the background, the economic background of both countries. And you know that they've been speaking also about cocoa, and they've been speaking as well about the oil, which is one of the main reasons that he's here. So let me take you through this quickly. So Ghana and Ivory Coast, we're looking at the cocoa production, for example. So Ghana and Ivory Coast produce about 2.35 million tons of cocoa, which is about 60% of world production. Now, Ghana is now responsible for over 20% of the world's cocoa. And by 2016, the global chocolate market will be worth $98.3 billion. That's a lot of money, and I'm talking about Ghana alone here. In Ghana, cocoa production accounts for just 1/6 of the country's GDP. If that gives you any better idea of just what's in stock for us as well. So that's about Ghana. I'm going to take you through what Ivory Coast has as well. Now, we know that Ivory Coast supplies about 30% of the world's total cocoa. So over 3/4 of the country's farmers define themselves as smallholder farmers. And we're looking at global cocoa prices that have been at a 10-year low. What are analysts saying? Well, they are predicting that the situation will put pressure on the economies of both Ghana and Ivory Coast. I'm not in the position to bring you to break that down any further, but as we go along, we'll get some more details. And as the visit of President Ouattara comes to an end and the issues come up, and we do a bit of analysis, and we get a lot of expert views, we'll be able to break it down further. So some more information here as well. The Ivory Coast supplies about 30% of the world's total cocoa, like I said, and they have a total crop production of, okay, you saw that figure there. It's obviously not mouth-friendly. Let's say 1 million tons, close to over 1 million tons I see there. Now, they supply to companies like Nestle, Cadbury, etc. And, you know, these are world giants. These two producers, or these two companies, are world giants in producing cocoa products. So there's still a lot of money in there, and it has a lot when it comes to supporting or being the backbone, or serving as some sort of a backbone to the country's economy. How about the industry? The industry is under fire due to independence due to its dependence, I must say, on child labor. Ivory Coast recently cut the price paid cocoa farmers by 36%. So if you know, countries that deal with Ghana, the so-called development partners, they don't like to work with countries who are perceived to be using children to grow the cocoa that they buy from us, the cocoa that they buy from other countries in the region. They do not agree, or they do not buy from people who are known to be using children as child labor. So that's something that the two countries will have to work on. Let's look at Ghana and Ivory Coast joint production on capacity. Now, the two countries export almost 3 million tons to support the multi-billion industry. The two countries are exporting almost 3 million tons of cocoa to support this industry. Now, farmers in both countries earn an average of 67% per day. 67 cents per day. Farmers in both countries are earning an average of 67 cents per day, and that's just 6.6% of the final sale price. And recently, if you recall, President Akufo-Addo, when he went to the UN meeting, did say, or did make a strong point for some sort of equity when it comes to African farmers, that there are most of them who are doing the hard work and yet getting the least of rewards. Now, according to the World Bank, Ivory Coast and Ghana have a combined GDP of $69.3 billion. And that's a figure that's dropped by Nestle's $90 billion in annual sales, or a market cap of around $250 billion. I know that sounds like a lot of figures, but you see, I mean, on a very cursory look at it, you see that $69.3 billion which is what both countries are making, is really small when it comes to how much just Nestle is making. You can get a lot more of these figures and a lot more of these, information on myjoyonline.com. So it gives you an idea when it comes to the economic background of the two countries, especially if you want to put, do a bit of juxtaposition, and if you want to do a bit of analysis, then it tells you what's at stake here. But before the president leaves, I'm sure that there will be a lot more issues and have a lot more details. At the moment, as I speak, we understand that the delegations from both sides of the country have been in a closed-door meeting. Definitely, we'll get snippets of information and we'll feed you right as we have those information. But let's